Is it okay to cry if you're a guy, or is it creepy when you're weepy? There was lots of talk about men crying last week when LeBron James let the tears flow after winning something called the NBA championship. According to a new survey, 16% of Americans think it's yucky for a man to cry in public. Yucky. That number is cut in half for women, with 8% of Americans saying it is unacceptable for a female to cry in public. Within the same survey, 20% of men admitted to crying in the past week. The remaining 80% beat the crap out of them and took their lunch money. All right, I'll go to you first, Baker, because you used to be the CIA. Are you tough enough to cry? When was the last time you cried?
My dad's funeral.
What?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
God,
Thank you.
Greg.
Well, I'm just
Play
trying
the
to say.
corgi.
Yeah.
Play the corgi.
Corgi tape.
This show, that's what's so great about this show. It's an honest show.
Yes.
People give you honest answers. But I'm
That's a
telling
good
you,
answer.
Yeah,
You should have cried.
Yeah, what else am I supposed to say? I
Yeah.
mean, but listen, if you win the NBA championship or at your at a funeral for an immediate family that you really like, or a close buddy,
Yeah.
right, or your daughter's wedding, that's it. Those things, that's it. Otherwise, keep it at home.
What if somebody you really like dies at your daughter's wedding? Then you can cry twice as much, Andrew, twice as much. Are you a crier? I don't see you crying.
I do cry. I cry at movies.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I saw Finding Nemo.
Uh-huh.
And that was a tearjerker.
It was.
He was gimpy.
Yes, he was.
But I don't believe that you're allowed to give in to the cry as a man.
Right.
Does that make sense? You can fight a cry.
You're supposed to.
You can't just and then snot.
It's called ugly cry.
You can't ugly cry.
Ugly cry.
You have to stare into the light and let the tear drop down. Like what LeBron did, I only forgive him because he won a championship for a third world country.
Yes.
If you didn't win a
Cleveland, okay. It went by me. It went by me.
So, but outside of that, I think there's no reason to cry, especially in America. We got it pretty good.
Yeah, what's the cry about? I mean, other than loss and painful heartache, Gillian.
I'm really surprised to hear this from these American gentlemen. I thought the American people were like totally desensitized to man crying after having John Boehner as the Speaker of the House for all those years. I'm very surprised we haven't
He was a weepy
gotten
tangerine.
farther along.
I was really surprised by those results. I mean, like, I'm not into a man that cries, like, unless it's like over me, because like that's hot.
Yeah.
But like, and I don't even like crying in public. Like when I'm at home, like all bets are off. Like I will cry if I can't find the Apple TV remote, like no problem. But like, you gotta have people respect you.
Yeah.
No, I like crying in public. On public transportation?
Yes.
That's like the one place you can.
That is so true.
No one will say anything.
Yeah, but
It's like you're in your
cares.
own box.
But that's
It's
woman
amazing.
privilege right there.
No, it's not. It's that on the subway there are two things you can't do. One is cry in public and furiously masturbate. I learned both the hard way.
Or cry while you're masturbating.
Yes,
And
yes.
you're not
That's
supposed to
completely
cry.
out.
You're not supposed to cry in the
Yeah, you can't do
workplace,
that.
Yes.
especially women. But I think that that's a mistake because what else are you supposed to do with the rage?
Yes.
Right? I would recommend actually, I don't know, taking
Drink.
my personal
Honey, you drink.
Cry in the storage closet.
generalizing it to all women. I don't cry when I'm sad necessarily. I cry when I'm enraged. And if men would sometimes do that, it would be a great outlet. Like, for example, rather than punch somebody in the face, sometimes at the office, you like burst into
Have you
tears.
ever punched somebody in the face?
I'm telling you, it is so
Absolutely.
good. Crying is
Talk about
cathartic.
cathartic.
When you punch someone in the face and then they start crying, it's double.
It's a stress reliever.
wow,
But
it's
look,
beautiful.
this is all part of the sort of the wussification of the American male.
Do you know
it's
why
very-
this article is full of crap? Because the example they use is an exception. LeBron James. So they say, oh, this guy cried. Yes, he's an NBA champion. You're going to tell him not to cry? Like, if this should have been, they didn't have any other examples
Yeah,
that they
because
could
men
use.
didn't want to come forward because we've shamed men into thinking that they can't.
Well, no.
Well, I think it's the opposite.
Women are tricky
People-
with this because what they do is this. They say that they want us to be open with our emotions.
Then they don't.
But they only want us to be open with our emotions, Greg, after they love us because they know no other woman will then love us.
Yes.
It's strategy. That's what I'm saying.
No, women
That's why
women
women
look
make you
at men
dress
who are
bad.
emotional
Say again?
as insane.
No, she said it as well. That's why women make you dress bad. They're like, hey, put on
When
this
you're in
shirt.
a reliever.
Nobody's going to sleep with you. That's what they do. They're very sad.
My wife makes me my wife dresses me.
Exactly.
in a Captain and Tennille shirt.
That's pretty good. Audience, applaud. All right. That saved me a lot of grief. All right, coming up, we are just minutes away from the debate to end all debates. Eat your heart out, Lincoln Douglas. Is that a boxer?
If you'll be in the New York area and would like to be part of our studio audience, email Greg Tix at foxnews.com.